Cymru, Gwlad y Gan, Wales, the land of song, also renowned throughout the world as a coal mining country once. For even though this nation still maintains its musical tradition, the Principality's coal mines have almost ceased to exist. And yet, they haven't completely disappeared, because a couple of coal mines still survive. One of them being Gwaith Glor Tŵr, the Tower Colliery, situated here on the sparse slopes of the Ricos Mountain.
We salute the miners that work here, or rather the working class pays them the homage that they so richly deserve. Or as one Welsh poet once said in his ode to the miner, roedd anrhydedd heddiw, ac urddas I was mor wiw. Yet the miner has not always been looked upon with reverence and respect.
No, definitely not. I remember as a lad, we had a monster of a headmaster, who incidentally didn't live in the mining community, didn't want to be amongst the working class. And he said to us, boys, those of you that do well with your schoolwork here will go on to the grammar school, and you'll have the best jobs as doctors and teachers. And those of you that fail, but work hard at the secondary modern school, you could get an apprenticeship and become a car mechanic or a carpenter. And as for the rest of you, it's down the mines.
Some people had a very poor image of a miner. Ironically, this disrespectful attitude of the miner by the despicable middle class eventually proved, in my opinion, to be the formula to Tower Colliery's immense success. It is generally known that the men of Tower invested a substantial amount of money in order to purchase the colliery for themselves.
Yes, and it worked. No thanks to British coal, because the miners' business venture at Tower was ridiculed when it was first mentioned. For in those dreary Thatcher years, open cast was the only true answer to a successful coal mining industry.
Their pessimistic forecast of Tower's future turned out to be chaotically wrong. Yes, these miners today have every right to laugh at their so-called critics, due to the outstanding success in both extracting the coal and in its marketing.
It could be said that the need to support their family affirmed their success. But in my opinion, there's a far more fundamental reason. Since coal was first extracted from the earth, the miner has been constantly scorned by the bourgeoisie. Hynny yw, gwawd y crach bod I grybwll.
Has it not been said that he that laughs last laughs the loudest, as indeed miners of Tower Colliery can do so today through realizing their own unique accomplishment? Ironically, this legacy of being ridiculed eventually proved to be the miners' salvation. For in my opinion, these heroes of revolutionary ideas were determined to inflate their bag of wind critics through proving that we are not merely a physical phenomena of the industrial world, but also accomplished businessmen. This example of derision, parallel to acquiring success, can be favourably compared with what the convalescent home for the South Wales mining industry have experienced at Weymouth. The appropriately named Court Royal is the jewel in the crown of the coal mining industry. Here we see the miners enjoying some liquid refreshment in this luxurious bar that was opened in 1998. The barman is Mr. Terry Piper, one of Court Royal's most dedicated and conscientious staff. Whilst here in the dining hall, they are enjoying a feast of well-prepared food. Equally important to food and drink is their appetite for conversation, which the miner does in this cherished corner of Court Royal, where they can reminisce about those long ago colliery days. And then, in order to gain some lung relief, coal dust sufferers from South Wales will go to the nearby park for that much sought after fresh air, where one old miner is finding delight in feeding the wildlife of the park.
Take me home to my friends. Take me home where my heart lies.
But one should not be too ready to look at this well-run convalescent home through rose-coloured spectacles. For throughout its 50-year history, life has been easy for Court Royal. Let's look at this book. It is quoted in this book that in 1948, a year after Court Royal opened, the Glamorgan Cricket Club won the county championship for the first time whilst playing at Bournemouth. The subsequent invasion of the pitch by convalescing Welsh miners disturbed the serenity and gentility of the cricket ground, and that, in my opinion, has never been forgiven by the bourgeoisie of Bournemouth. Over the years, large buildings have been built around Court Royal, therefore dwarfing its existence. Now, even more buildings have been erected around the convalescent home, and in so doing, eclipsing the panoramic picture of the sea. Even though this has been objected to in court, new buildings are still being erected on the nearby coastline. Is this a conspiracy to daunt the miner from staying at Bournemouth by depriving him of his view? Court Royal is no ordinary building, for history was made here. For it is recorded on this plaque that Court Royal received the world's first paid radio message that Marconi transmitted from the Isle of Wight. The remains of Marconi's radio mast can still be seen in Court Royal's garden. The question that one should ask now, why don't the bourgeoisie have any respect for their own heritage, even though they might have none for this building's occupants? Yes, Marconi is respected at Court Royal, as much as another person with an Italian name is revered. Spinetti, Victor Spinetti. But I can assure you that Victor is as Welsh as the village where he was born, which is Cwm, near Ebo Vale. Ie, Cymro i'r carn, yw Victor Spinetti. I remember meeting Victor at Court Royal when I mentioned that the miners would love to see his performance at the nearby Pier Theatre. His response was immediate and positive, for he arranged for the 40 miners at Court Royal to attend the show free of charge. As a gesture of gratitude to the management of the Pier Theatre, to Victor and also stars of the show, they were invited back to see the Bournemouth fireworks display. And whilst the glittering fireworks mixed with the light of the stars, so also did the miners of Court Royal mingle with the stars of stage and screen, Victor Spinetti, Sue Pollard and Britt Eklund, amongst many others. The visit of these famous people must have influenced the miners, because they all wanted to be stars at the forthcoming Noson Lawen at Court Royal. But little did they know, they were already stars in their own right, such as the great socialist, the late Ben Shellard from Aberdare, and Will John Evans, the former mayor of Lliw, who we can see here rendering one of his own poems. And of course, there were other innumerable stars. What would a Noson Lawen be without a president? And there was none better that evening than the former senior welfare officer of the Coal Industry Social Welfare Organisation, Verdon Price of my stake.
There will be some of us who will not be here before Sister Margaret Rose retires. If you don't know, but I think everybody knows that she is retiring next year. There is no one irreplaceable. The greatest man on earth was not replaceable. But having said that, I don't think anyone will be able to take her place. And I mean that with all sincerity.
And what would a Noson Lawen be without a male voice choir? Or in other words, the Maddie Boys.
Maddie, that is the place for me. Maddie, I
I love you so. Swansea town is very nice to see. Cardiff is pretty, and so is Bristol City, but it's muddy. That is a place for me. It's charming climate suits me to a T.
But, of course, the true glittering star of Court Royal is Sister Margaret Jones, who, for the last 37 years, have given exceptional care and attention to the miners of South Wales. This caring and attentive manner is evident here as she goes from table to table inquiring about their well-being. This lifelong dedication in looking after the health and welfare of the South Wales miners at Court Royal was given full recognition through Sister Margaret Jones being accepted as a member of the Welsh Gorsedd of Bards. Therefore, let us now enjoy her investiture during the 1998 National Eisteddfod of Wales at Bridgend.
I weithio yn y Court Royal, sef cartref I lowyr De Cymru yn Bournemouth. 1980, hyd i'n gyfrifol am holl drefniant y gweini yn y cartref. Yma y doi'r glowyr o faes glo De Cymru ar hyd y blynyddoedd I wellai o'i hanafiadau, llawdriniaethau a salwch. Bu uchel y clod I waith y chwaer hon, deiau nifer o Gymru Cymraeg yno a fedrai sgwrsio â hwy yn ei mamiaeth. Y mae gwasanaeth y chwaer I arwyr glew erwa'r glo yn gyfraniad I fywyd y genedl, a theilwng iawn a'i hanrydeddu a hithau'n ymddiol wedi 15 mlynedd ar hugain o wasanaeth yn y cartref. I'w adnabod yng ngorsedd fel marged gwarchodydd y glôr.
A dyma hi, yr eneth sydd yn eiddiannol hwan rydydd yr orsedd, marged, gwarchodydd y glôr.